I'm not a do-it-yourselfer. I'm a pay-for-it-yourselfer. Unfortunately, you can't pay for everything, and that'll become apparent in a moment. So, as of last Sunday, those two people who live in Baltimore and gave birth to me hadn't called me in 3 weeks, and I was starting to get concerned. Don't you love me anymore? Don't you want to know what's going on in my life? Don't you want to hear every minute detail of my day? Don't you want to hear my complaints? Aren't you obsessed with me? Apparently not. I think I have a pretty good relationship with my parents, but I noticed that over the past couple of years, things have started to change. They started to be more interested in their own lives, their hobbies, not my sobbing. So I realized that this is just part of growing up, and I'm not trying to have any of that. About a year ago, I started seeing a therapist, shocker, and I told him that my main issue was that I wanted to have more adult relationships, and I didn't know how to do it. So I was taking some initiative, and I wanted him to do it for me. I told him I wanted to have a better relationship with my parents. I want to have a more mature relationship with my brothers, with everyone I know. We were making some real good progress. The thing is, I'm sorry. My voice cracked and I got really nervous for a second. The thing is, I'm clearly not as mature as I think I am, and my issue is not really that, but self-sabotage. So the moment we started making progress, I immediately stopped going. I am serious about growing up, though, because one has to do it. Unless one is Peter Pan or Brad Pitt in that movie about buttons, you have to. And so I tried. You know, and I wish there was like a for dummies book, a do-it-yourself book for growing up, for being an adult. If there is one, I may actually have it. See, I buy a lot of self-help books, just an enormous amount of self-help books. Here's a brief anecdote. I was dating this amazing, amazing guy about like 8 months ago, and I was so afraid I was going to fuck it up. I was just obsessed about it. So I did what any normal person would do. I got drunk one night and bought $100 worth of self-help books on eBay. And I mean, just every book you can imagine about, like, you know, interracial relationships, gay relationships. There's one book, the only book, I think, of, like, devotions for gay, lesbian, and black Christians, which, just a lot of yelling. Anyway, he started to pull away from me, and I started to write a blog about how he was pulling away from me, and so he dumped me. And I guess it's for the best. Apparently that's crazy. Apparently that's crazy. But here's the thing, what I don't understand, what I can't figure out is, if that's crazy, it's my natural reaction. It's what I feel like I should do. And I'm an adult, right? I mean, I'm 28 years old. If my reaction's not the right reaction, then what do? How do I figure it out? No one will tell me. He wouldn't tell me, the books wouldn't tell me, no one would tell me. I certainly feel like an adult. Sometimes I feel like, it's like when you yell at a 3-year-old for writing on the wall, and they're like, I'm 3, what do you want me to do, write a novel? You know, so I can't write a novel either, I can't finish anything. The thing is, well, all right, about a year ago, my mother had a stroke, and nothing makes you feel more like an adult, and yet more like a child, than facing the mortality of your parents. So I went down to Baltimore, and I met them in the hospital room. My mother, my 2 brothers, my father, and my mother was hooked up to all these tubes, and her hair was a mess. Leave it to the gay son. They're like, listen, I know you're going through a thing here, lady, but if you could go, I just got a scrunchie in my back now. And so she hunches herself up, and she says to me and my brother, she's like, you know, listen, I've been worrying about you for your entire lives. I love you, and I will always love you, but I've been worrying about you for 30 years now. And worry leads to stress, and stress leads to stroke, and I can't go down that road. So I'm going to need you to start taking care of yourselves and taking care of each other. And my brothers were nodding their heads like this was a sane idea. I decided that somebody had to be the voice of reason up there. So I walked in, I stepped forward, and I was like, listen, lady, I know that you're going through something. And I've seen your chart, you're high on all kinds of medication. But there's no way I can possibly take care of myself. I am 28 years old, you're crazy. So I'm going to give you a week to work this out, and then I'm going to go back to calling you crying because I can't find the remote. Things did change, though. In little ways, my parents stopped calling as much, and I started solving my own problems. And, you know, I didn't have to. You don't have to accept anything. One of the things I learned from those many self-help books is you don't have to accept anything in any relationship. It's a dialogue. but I did accept it. And that's the thing about growing up. Oh, that is the thing about growing up. No one can make you do it. Your therapist, your boyfriend, your mother, Oprah. You have to do it yourself. And so I decided to solve this phone situation by picking up the phone myself. And I called my mother and I said, "Hello, I would like for you to call me."